Palaces of Maharashtra, a royal legacy. Turn the pages of history, travel back in time to an era of kings and queens, royal darbars and courtly traditions. The majestic palaces of Maharashtra, custodians of a royal legacy, each with a story waiting to be told. The new palace Kolhapur, the descendants of Chhatrapati Raja Ram Maharaj, the second son of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, still lives in the new palace at Kolhapur. This imperial structure was designed by a British architect, Major Charles Mant, in 1877, and the building took 7 years to complete. Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj, also known as Rajashri Shahu Maharaj, was the first ruler to live in this palace. His bust still stands outside the palace as a tribute to a king who was a great social reformer and a progressive ruler. Rajashri Shahu Maharaj was known for his educational reforms and for his ideas on eradicating untouchability. The palace also has a beautiful museum dedicated to Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj and is visited by hundreds of tourists every day.
That is mainly related to the history or some life of the Chhatrapatis, particularly of Kolhapur. And overall, it's not a very big museum. It's compared to many other museums elsewhere that you may have seen. This is a small and compact museum. And yet people come here because it's a lot of open space around, a lot of greenery, trees.
The palace is 8-angled and has towers on all corners of the building. The overall impression is Gothic with its commanding clock tower that dominates the facade of the palace. But intricate details drawn from Hindu and Muslim architecture add to the uniqueness of the palace. At its main entrance is a beautifully carved Ganesh, and the carvings on the pillars and walls are noteworthy examples drawn from Hindu architecture. Islamic elements like the domes and Mughal flowers motif adorn this palace that essentially looks like a European castle. But its Hindu and Islamic elements merge with the overall design, adding to its beauty and majesty.
The palace has been designed by an architect called Major Mant. He got the best of different cultures and architecture from starting with his own Gothic architecture. The Mughal architecture is also there, and the original Indian architecture is also there. So it's a combination of various architectures, and the best of it has come out over here.
The Rajwada at Satara is known for its magnificent woodwork that is a defining feature of this palace. The Rajwada and the Adalat Wara were alternately homes to the Chhatrapati family of Satara, who are direct descendants of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, the elder son of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Both palaces are known for the rich woodwork. The Adalat Wara has a beautiful Darbar hall, which once had a roof with mirrors. The Adalat Wara, as the name suggests, was used as a place where the Chhatrapati would hold court.
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज जी ने जब स्वराज्य की स्थापना की और उसका बढ़ोतरी का काम शुरू कर दिया, तो वो लोग जो थे किले में ही रहते थे और ज्यादातर उनका कालखंड तो युद्ध भूमि ही चला जाता था। कुछ अलग हो और दिखने में सुंदर हो, और ये सब वुड यहाँ लगाया गया है, वो शीशम से भी ज्यादा प्रभावशाली सागवान ही है। इसको कीड नहीं लगती, खराब नहीं होता। आपको लोहे का इस्तेमाल दिखाई पड़ेगा, क्योंकि ये हॉट ही रहता है मई जून में, तो गर्म आने वाली हवाएं भी अगर लोहे के खिड़की से आए तो गर्म होकर आते, इसलिए वो लकड़ी का ही बना दिया गया है।
Satara was the seat of the descendants of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's eldest son, Sambhaji Maharaj. Held in Satara at this beautiful old step well called Bara Motichi Bihir, Shahu Maharaj would meet Balaji Vishwanath, who he later appointed as his Peshwa. The Peshwas then became powerful, controlling the Maratha Empire and ruling in the name of Chhatrapati. The motifs at the step well, lions and tigers, are royal emblems of the rule of the mighty Maratha king. Apart from the Chhatrapatis, the other Maratha states also built beautiful palaces. One such example is Savantwadi on the Konkan coast of Maharashtra. Savantwadi was ruled by the Savant Bhosles. The Savantwadi Palace was built in 1755 to 1803 by King Savant III. Combining English and Portuguese elements, the vibrant structure is built with red laterite stone. The palace situated on the banks of Moti Lake and can be entered through the Leicester Gate, which was built in 1895 and named after the British agent.
If you see our logo, which my father put up on his, there's a throne there in the Darbar Hall. The main emblem on that gives you depiction of what the army consists of. We had the armada, which was the sea. We had the cavalry, the infantry. So all these three things were there with us. Not only necessarily the armaments, which only like land army or something, but we were seafaring people also, doing trade with the Gulf. The palace has a magnificent Darbar Hall which is open to tourists.
Beautiful woodwork, elegant chandeliers, and a ceiling of zinc plates gives the Darbar Hall a regal grandeur. The Ganjifa art form, a traditional art of lacquerware, has been kept alive by the Sawantwadi royal family. Craftsmen sit at the Darbar Hall practicing the art on wood, and a trip to Sawantwadi is not just about visiting a royal palace, but is also about viewing a rich craft tradition. The Nimbalkar dynasty of the Marathas ruled Fulton, one of the oldest families of the Maratha Confederacy. The Nimbalkars have a historic connection with the great Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. The first wife of Chhatrapati Shivaji, Saibai, was from Fulton. Her portrait still hangs in the Rajwada here, and there are several references to this historic alliance. The 17th century Rajwada, with its elaborately carved pillars and quadrangles, is a stately home that is still preserved. A combination of British and Maratha architecture, the palace is divided by a staircase. The more modern British-style palace combines seamlessly with the Maratha architecture characterized by detailed woodwork. The ornate ceiling is an example of European architecture, but its motifs are traditionally Indian. The intricate woodwork, wooden pillars and arches belong to the Maratha style of architecture and add to the charm of the stately palace. It has an arresting facade built in the European Art Deco style by the last ruler Raja Mudhoji Rao. Ichalkaranji is a Maratha state that was once ruled by the Ghorpades. The Rajwada at Ichalkaranji is an imposing edifice. Built with dominant elements of Hindu architecture, it has interesting turrets and charokas or stone windows projecting from the walls that are a signature style of classical Indian architecture. The Darbar Hall at Ichal Karanji is incomparable in grandeur. The massive pillars with huge bases elaborately carved are outstanding in beauty and finery. The ceiling of the Darbar Hall still has elaborate chandeliers retained from the days of its royal past. The Rajvada at Ichal Karanji is now an engineering institute, but it's well worth a visit. The charming courtyard has been so designed that if you stand at one end, you get a direct view of the world outside. The entrance to the palace is through an impressive gate which leads up to a porch. Though the Rajvada is now an educational campus, it has retained its authenticity and history. The Jaivilas Palace in Johor is a huge draw. It was built in 1937 by the 19th ruler of the Mukne royal family, Flight Lieutenant Raja Yashwantrao Mukne. The palace is distinctive from other Rajvadas as it's known for its stonework and its simple yet grand style of construction. The neoclassical style of the palace blends Indian and Western architecture. The arches and the turrets on the facade of the palace are signatures of Hindu style of building. The palace has been used for a number of film and television shoots.
सौ 120 किलोमीटर पे जवाहर मुंबई से पड़ता है, तो काफ़ी नज़दीक पड़ता है। यहाँ भी बहुत सारी वेब सीरीज, आप अगर हिंदी पिक्चर देखेंगे तो उसमें द ग्रेट ग्रैंड मस्ती, उसका पूरा शूटिंग यहाँ पे हुआ था। अभी जैसे CID सीरियल है मराठी में, उसका शूटिंग हुआ था। नेटफ्लिक्स के भी शूटिंग्स हो रहे हैं, बहुत सारे सीरियल्स के शूटिंग्स यहाँ पे हो रहे हैं अभी जी। और अगर आप टूरिज्म के हिसाब से देखेंगे तो ये पैलेस तो हमारा ज्वेल है।
The Mukne royal family now plan to open a museum in the palace which has a memorabilia of the tribal kings that once ruled this region for 21 generations. The Aga Khan Palace in Pune, built by Sultan Muhammad Shah Aga Khan III, is an exquisite example of European architecture that synchronizes seamlessly with Islamic elements. The palace was built as an act of philanthropy by the Aga Khan, who wanted to help poor people in the area who had been hit by a famine in 1892. It took 5 years to build and cost rupees 12 lakhs. It gave employment to 1,000 workers.
The late Sultan Muhammad Shah Aga Khan, who was the 48th spiritual head of the Khoja Sia Ismaili community, So he constructed the palace because it was a big family in the Maharashtra state. So it was the mother who insisted that why can't you build a palace here so that people would get some work. The work went for 5 years. 1,000 people were given employment and they were given full-hearted wages for their livelihood, and 12 lakhs was the cost at that time. And the Aga Khan used to give silver coins as wages at that time. It's a combination of French and Mughal architecture, Gothic structure, Italian arcs are there, and it's made of wood, stone. Everything is made of stone, wood and marble, and it's still strong enough.
With graceful columns and arches and a well-maintained garden, the Aga Khan Palace in Yerwada, Pune is a big tourist attraction. Historically, it is of immense importance. Its story intertwines with that of the freedom struggle. After his call for the Quit India movement in 1942, Mahatma Gandhi was imprisoned here with his wife, Kasturba Gandhi, and secretary, Mahadev Desai. Kasturba Gandhi and Mahadev Desai both died here. Their memorial is built in the garden, and Mahatma Gandhi's ashes have also been interred here. The palace is now a museum dedicated to the freedom struggle, and Mahatma Gandhi's days spent here has been outlined in detail. Beauty, grace, serenity, a European design combining with Islamic elements. The Aga Khan Palace in Pune is one of the most refined palaces and a must-visit for any tourist. The Thibaw Palace in Ratnagiri. It was built for the Burmese king Thibaw Min in 1910 by the British who exiled him to Ratnagiri. The palace, a fine amalgamation of British and Burmese architecture, tells the story of an arrest and life in exile. King Thibaw spent his life longing for his homeland and hoping to return. He was allowed to build a palace here that the British government paid for. With memories of his homeland in his mind, the king personally supervised the construction of this palace, which is an example of Burmese architecture that combines with colonial elements.
1885 में क्या हुआ? अंग्रेजों ने बर्मा को पराभूत किया और यहाँ का राजा था किंग थीबा, उसको पदच्युत किया और उसको बंदीवान बनाया. पहले दर पे इसको सिर्फ 1 लाख इसको पेंशन थी और उसके कम होते वो 25,000 तक आ गई.
The palaces of Maharashtra, each with a unique architecture, background and history, are a must-to-do on the tourist map.